Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian Cattle Farmer here in Chilliwack, British Columbia. Now, we are carrying on today with our big forage harvest. If you remember from the last episode, we had our silo completely full of maize and it is starting to ferment, which means we needed to transition here into the ag bagger. So, we've got it all hooked up there onto the back of the 4440. I'm going to jump in there and go and get it set up. Now my plan is to hopefully be able to use the auto drive courses that we set up last time we used the bagger, which was for the carts to run in here and then turn along and unload to then build up each of the bags. Fingers crossed I can get that all aligned. Now I'm going to try and drive one of the wagons today. Thought that'd be a little bit more fun than just sitting in the forager like we did last time. I'm just going to come in here. Now if we turn this on, we should be able to find silage bag number 1 trigger. So I'm going to move over a little bit. I don't know exactly how close we need to be. In fact, you know what I might do? I might go and grab one of the tractors, bring it over onto the course, set it up, driving to silage bag number 1, and then we'll know exactly where we need to position this to be able to get things to unload. So I've jumped into the New Holland, thought we'd bring that over. 1, because it's probably the biggest tractor, so the one we need to give the most clearance to. 2, it was also the front one that was running along the course, so it was the next in line. And 3, it is the one I'm planning on running today. So I thought if we could get this one over here and get this one up and going, it would mean we'd be able to head on over, leave the others to unload, and while they're doing that we can be filling up and getting things started underway and underway in the field. But let's just wait and see. Now I'm probably going to have to stop this because I don't think it will pause at the unload. It should pause because it is partly full, so let's wait and see. But there we go, that's probably pretty good for our alignment. So in fact I might, because it's got to about that point, there it has paused. Right, we'll turn that off and we will go and position the bagger just in a position slightly behind the unload trigger, because we want to make sure that we unload before we get to that trigger. I'm hoping that's going to be close enough. I think that should, by the time that flap pops down and starts throwing the silage out, that should be close enough there. So we're going to go and grab a couple of bags, or a bag, at least get that all attached and started so we can make sure everything is all working. We've got the pickup over in the shed, we've got 2 bags on the back of that, so we'll go and grab that, bring that over here and see about getting those all connected up. So there we are, we've got the bag down there, another bag sitting up there on the back. We've got 6 in total actually. I thought we had 5 when we spoke about it last time, but let's just hop up into here. You can now see we've got the option there to attach the bag to the bagger, so we'll just click on the right button there and that should now be attached. We'll go and jump in now. Do we have to turn this on? I can't remember if this requires power or not. Doesn't seem to be an option to turn it on, so I'm just going to assume that it is all going to work. Next job, I'll jump back up in here and we're going to run this back around on the course once more just to make sure everything is going to work and get unloading. Alright, moment of truth. Driving up here, looks like the tractor's getting past, which is good. Next question, are we going to get a trigger? And we have. Right, I'm pleased with that. That is meaning the system is up and working. And there we go, the bag is now starting to fill. I can't remember the capacity out of them, whether they were 200,000 litres each. And they are 200,000 litres each. They're just taking a look in the store. So we've got enough capacity for 1.2 million litres of silage here in the bags, which will take us about to 2 million litres total. And I'm estimating we're going to be at about 2.1, maybe 2.2 off the field. So we'll keep an eye on it and see exactly where we end up. But let's just leave these guys here unloading. We'll go and grab the other 2 tractors, get them set up on their courses. We'll go and take this one over and get the forage harvester up and going. There you go, you can see both those tractors heading on over this way, and they should go and line up and be ready to unload just as soon as we are out of the way. Now it looks like it's a very similar unload speed or fill speed here into the silage bagger, so we're probably going to be at pretty much exactly the same pace, rate, whatever you want to call it, that we were. The only difference is it is a little bit further to go and a little bit more of a convoluted course to get in here, and of course we are going to have to be changing this quite frequently when we've only got 200,000 litre capacity, which is another reason I thought it would be good if I was in one of the wagons, because I can take care of that while the others are up and running rather than leaving them over here and not knowing at what stage they have got to. But let's head on over. We'll go and find the forage harvester. Should be where we left it in the field, all according to plan, and we'll go and get that fired up and get a start on getting some more of the silage chopped. And here we are over in the field, everything up and going. We are getting the silage into the back of the wagon here, and the worker is underway. Now for this one we're actually using just a standard AI worker. We haven't gone for courseplay or anything like that. I figured they're just going to be cutting back and forth across the field. That might be just as efficient as if we were to go and use courseplay to set it up. But we'll see how we go. We'll manage that and keep an eye on it, and if we need to set up a course and use courseplay for it, we'll look to change that over as we go. But there we go. I'm just going to try and tweak my GPS down to the right speed, or my cruise control that is, down to the right speed. About 7 I think it is in here. There we go. We'll get turned around and make sure we're matching the speed there off the forage harvester. But there we go. That is us, not full, but the forage harvester finished off. We'll get turned around and be on our way for the next pass. Now, being at this end of the field, we're probably going to be able to keep up with the other vehicles quite easily, not have too many issues, but we'll wait and see how this all goes. Alright, there we go, that's us full, and I haven't seen another tractor come over yet. I'm hoping that when we get back over here they have started unloading into the bagger. That was the only thing I didn't actually check to make sure they had, and if I recall correctly, we did actually have a few issues with the John Deere last time. But just the very first unload, we actually had to force unload to get the trigger to work, so it could be we've got exactly the same issue happening this time, and we're going to have to give that a little bit of a tweak. But that's alright. We'll always find a few little teething issues, but once we get into the swing of things, we should be up and running like a well-oiled machine. And as I suspected, we didn't get a trigger for this one, so we'll just spin it around, see if the Kubota's going to unload. It does look like it's paused and started unloading. Let's just get up here behind it. We'll be able to see when we get around the corner. Yeah, that's up and running. So I don't know what it is with this one. It seems to be just a little force unload at the right point gets the trigger, so I'm not sure. We'll figure it out, but once it's done, it seems to run just fine. Alright, that's the Kubota emptied. It always feels like it takes forever when you're sitting here waiting for them, but it's out of the way and off, and should go and get started there with the forage harvester. So I'm just going to get next to the trigger. Now if we just force unload that, we've stopped it again. Now we get the trigger, start overloading fresh maize. So I don't know exactly what it is with this one, but it's obviously something in there with the tractor. So we should be able to turn that back on now. And we're going to plan this point here. I'm going to stop and start unloading. So that is up and working. Like I said, who knows why, but that's just how it is going. So while that's doing that, just actually jump in here and have a quick look. 62,000 litres already. So we're going to be keeping ourselves pretty busy changing bags over by the looks of things. But that's not too bad. We can't complain about that system. But we'll go and jump over into the field and just double check that the Kubota's up and running. And then we should be all good to keep things moving. Well, it's got to the field and it's heading on over to the forage harvester, so that is a good start. It should run down here, do a big 180 and get itself lined up and ready to go. So good to see that that's going to be working. Next challenge will be to make sure everything turns around all right. It seems a long time ago that we did our first silage harvest over in the field where the clover is, over that way next to the cattle barn, and had all those issues with the wheels and that on the original forage boxes we used. If you remember that, that was all sorts of fun, and having to reset trailers and things like that to get them fixed out. These twin axle ones are much better with the drawbar and everything like that. Seem to work out so much easier. But let's just ride along here, like I said, just for a little minute. Let's make sure everything works when we get to the end of the pass, that everything gets turned around and realigned, and we should be good to go. And there we go, all turned around without any dramas. It's looking like it's going to be about a single pass in one direction to fill these trailers up. We took just a little bit over, I think, but our trailer's a little bit bigger than the New Holland, these small ones. Only 3,000 litres, but it doesn't take long for 3,000 litres to fill up, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how we all go. But anyhow, I'm going to leave these guys here. I'm going to go jump back in our tractor and get things started and just carry on with the harvesting. Good to see we've got back here and the John Deere's no longer in sight, so it's headed off to the field, which probably means we're going to be in a pretty good spot with our timing to be having that getting over to the field as the Kubota fills up. Can't see it running along the road or anything. We might just sit here and watch for just a second, see if we spot it anywhere. But that's that'll be a good time. There it is, actually. It's just going behind the main shop. Come through between the sheds. There you go. So that's actually going to work out alright. I think we should be into a pretty good rhythm, good cadence of tractors over to the field and unloading, and just get things up and running into a nice little smooth setup. So I'm going to jump into a bit of a time lapse. We'll have to pause a few times just to change these bags over, but I'm looking forward to getting into this and getting it done. So we'll catch up with you in a little bit. Well, I thought this would be a good time for a bit of an update on progress. You can see we are 3.5 bags through our 6 bags, so 2.5 left, and I don't think we've done half of the area we had left in the field. Just have a look at the map and compare where we started with where we've got to. So you can see there, I think we probably started about there. That looks like our 4 headlands, so we've managed to get across to that far across the field, so we're probably maybe a third of the way across what we had left. There still is a lot of maize out there, a lot of corn out there in the field that we still need to get harvested. You can see we've got the chopper running, the 8410 is running next to that, and just over here, in fact we exit out, we'll see the Kubota coming around behind us to go and get unloaded. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to run out of bags, we're going to run out of space to put bags. I did think we could have actually used the space over there in front of the animal pen, that just on the other side of the slurry tank. That would be a good place to put some as well. The other option, as we discussed in the last episode, is to use the production revamp tool, the mod there that we can increase the capacity in our silos. So we might even look at doing that. I'm not sure. We'll give it some thought. We'll see how far we get and how far the next 2.5 bags go, and then we'll decide what it is we're going to do. But there we are. We are empty, so we'll get turned out of here. We've got a tight corner now. And head on over and keep moving. So we'll catch up with you again probably once we've got these bags all filled up. We just about have the last of the bags full here. I've done a quick calculation on how much more capacity there was in it, and we need to get down to 21,350 litres or so left in our trailer, and that should see the bag pretty much on 200,000. I want to avoid leaving any in the bagging unit. It does have a capacity which is a little bit inconvenient. Doesn't matter too much. I think we've got more than enough chaff, but we're just 76543 45. So let's just jump over here into the John Deere, have a look and see how close we were to that magic 200,000. 8 litres off. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to claim that as a victory, because there is little to no way without using a front loader or a grab or something like that to be able to get that any closer than it was. So we're going to get this put away. In fact, I'm not going to waste any time putting this away, because we need to go and worry about our next job, which is getting the harvest store back up and filling. So we'll just drop that off there for now. We can come back and tidy that up at a later date. Good thing we left the bagging or the blower in the right position, I hope. So we'll just head around here, go and get this hooked back up, get that powered up and going, and we should be able to get back into this. Now I have to go in as well and expand the capacity on it. We haven't done that yet, so we'll do that and then see about getting these tractors back up and running. A lot of mucking around with this. I'm enjoying it, it's good fun, but certainly the unload speed on those trailers would be nice if they were just a touch faster, but that's about right. Here we go, we've got the little bit that's sitting in here blowing up the blower, so leave that there, make sure everything's up and running. Now jump over here, go and have a look at the harvest store. So here we are in the production chains for the harvest store. Corn silage, you can see there, we're pretty much maxed out 747,000 litres, already made 8,000, which is nice. We're going to go through and upgrade this to level 3 for 90,000, and that has hopefully given us, if that's 747, it's probably given us half of that again. So maybe another 375,000 litres. It's going to be touch and go if we get that all into the bin or not. But look at that. Timely arrival of a tractor. It's not on the right course, but we'll let that carry on and go past and get them all set up and running on the right one. It's first tractor here pulling up. Let's just hope that the New Holland can squeeze past the blower. Yes, it can. Double check that we're going to get a trigger here. 21,000 litres left in this one, so I just thought I'd leave that going first. There we go, got that one emptied. So we can go and jump over into the other two tractors, which are both sitting over there, patiently waiting to unload into the silage bags that don't exist anymore. So we'll get them over here, get them unloading here into the harvest store. And there we go, there is our trailer emptied. So looks like the other two are pulling in just fine. Hopefully they will start unloading without any issues. We'll just double check, actually we'll get around the end here. Just take a look back and make sure the Kubota is stopped and unloading. Can you see some chaff coming out the side of it? Looks like the flap was going down there. Yes, I can just see it, make it out there. So that should be good. And did start unloading. So fingers crossed the John Deere will do the same. It should be. Shouldn't be any issues. But let's head on over to the farm, over to the field. Carry on getting this forage all chopped into the harvest store. Like I said, fingers crossed we can fit that 350,000 litres. Well, there's 350,000 litres or less here in the field. So I haven't shown you much of any of the last little bit here in the field, but we are getting through it. I think this is our second load we've unloaded, but we are getting very close to having this silo filled. We've got 10,000 litres left in the trailer, and that's going to go pretty close to filling it up. If we don't, the Kubota, I think, behind definitely will. And there you go, you see we're just about to tick over the 1.1 million litres, and the length of that green bar is not very long. And we're just going to have a look at the field. There is still a few more passes in there. Now what I've found, as we looked at before with the yield here in the field, because we're in this green section, we're filling up the trailers quicker than we have. I think it's almost 2 passes down and back is filling all 3 trailers. So we're definitely going to have to do something with the silo. Probably play for another level of upgrades just to be able to get it get somewhere to put all this maize into. I think last time I do recall that we might have kept some in the trailers and used that for our storage. Let's just go and double check again. Let the Kubota get into position, but let's just go and have a look and see how much more space there is. We're definitely going to run out of space. 1.1 million litres in there. So I think what we will do while we're on here, we'll pay for another level of upgrade. Take it up to level 4, another 97 grand. There we go. That's going to give us plenty of space. There's absolutely no way we're going to max that out. I can't see it happening. But how good is that? How good is it the amount of silage that we're going to have for the next farmer to carry on through winter and into next year? But we're going to carry on, go and get this field finished. We'll probably just get it done and see you when we're close to being done. Close to getting things finished, and just wrap this up. Well, we have finally made it to the very last pass on the field. I don't think we're quite going to get it all into our trailer. We'll need one more of the tractors to come back over, but that shouldn't be a drama getting them over here. They've been back and forth more than enough times so far, so once more, not going to cause any harm. Although in saying that, where it gets a little bit skinnier here, could help us get a little bit further. I think that we're going to get a couple of rows just up here. My initial headland was a little bit wonky. We might not get everything, but I think with the amount of silage we have, we can afford to leave just a couple of plants standing here out in the field. Let's just wait and see. It's going to be very close. I think we're just going to skip that little section just in here. 3 or 4 plants. Oh no, we've managed to take them all down. Well, look at that. There we go. 75% full. I don't think we're going to make it. That's alright. We'll let one of the other vehicles come over, one of the other tractors come over and get the very end of it. Although there's always something satisfying about being the one that finishes off the field. But that is a hugely impressive amount of maize. We'll have a look when we get back over to the yard and got everything emptied out at exactly how much we're going to end up with. But it has significantly exceeded my expectations. There we go, we're full. Just that little section there to go. But yeah, heaps more than I ever expected we would have got off this field. Like I said before, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed doing this. The stubble destruction here, this whole crop texture, the maize, corn maize, by BenGFS. A very, very cool texture, and yeah, I'm enjoying using it, and I've enjoyed doing all of this, albeit over quite an extended period of time. But anyhow, let's head on back over. We'll go and get emptied out. We'll get everything else emptied out, and we'll do a final tally on how much silage we're going to end up with. Well, would you believe it, but the harvest store is full again, and we haven't even got everything finished off. The Kubota's been back over into the field. They've finished up there with the forage harvest. We just got the notification to say our AI worker is complete, but we've still got a little bit left here in the John Deere trailer, our full trailer, and whatever the Kubota's going to bring back over that we need to do something with. Now, for now, I think I'm just going to leave it in the trailers, because it's another $105,000 to upgrade this once again. So we'll give that some thought. But for now, we'll just wait for the Kubota to get back over here, and we'll wrap up to see exactly how much silage we have ended up with. It's mammoth. It is huge. I can't believe that we got that much off that field. And there we go, Kubota back, and all three tractors lined up here, still with silage in the back to get put into the harvest store. Total amount sitting there in the trailers is 60,000 litres. So let's go and have a look how much we ended up in the harvest store, and a grand total of how much silage we have overall. So there we go, harvest store's got 1.5 million litres of storage. We've already put 12,000 litres, or processed 12,000 litres. So take the 60,000 on top of that, that's 1.57 million litres. And add on top of that our silage bags. We've got 6 of those with 200,000 litres in each. That's another 1.2 million litres. If we just sprint on over here and have a quick look, there's 1.2 million litres there. There's 1.57 million litres over in the harvest store, so a grand total of 2.77 million litres of silage, of maize silage, that we've taken off that field. And that is going to be awesome for keeping the cows well fed. Got about 1 million litres of grass silage, got about 1 million litres of straw, we've got hay, we've got clover hay, we've got whole crop silage as well. So the farmer inheriting the farm is not going to be short on feed, and we'll have plenty to keep the cows fed, and probably even look to bring some more beef cattle back into the feedlots here and start fattening those up as well. And there we go, there is the empty field with all the tyre tracks. Now, it would look even better if it had tyre tracks from every tractor, but that's just me on the headlands with the forage harvester, and then me going in and out of the field with the trailer. You can see how many trips we have made and where we've unloaded and turned and all that sort of thing. It looks very cool. But I think this is a perfect place to wrap up this episode. I know I said we were getting near the end of this series. We're going to squeak one more episode out of it, which is going to be a little bit of a look back on where we started and where we are now, and offering the farm forward to someone else. So keep an eye out for that. A little bit of a Christmas present coming very soon. But for now, as always, thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.